Been my ambition to try and get into the Foreign Office after having gone to Cambridge.
It is inconceivable that the name William, bestowed upon the current Prince of Wales, finds its origin in Britain's notorious Playboy Prince. Prince William of Gloucester, a first cousin to the late Queen Elizabeth II, is remembered as one of the most defiant figures and entangled in the most intricate romantic saga ever recorded in royal history. His heart belonged to a woman named Zsuzsi Starkloff, and despite their relentless struggle to preserve their love, their story culminated in tragedy. Moreover, his life was marred by additional sorrowful events. Watch until the end to uncover the full extent of his unfortunate existence. From his early days as a page boy at the Queen's wedding in 1947 to being fourth in line to the British throne, William embodied the essence of royalty with an air of charm and rebellion. In the swinging 1960s, William's demeanor began to diverge from the traditional expectations of the royal family. Instead of conforming to strict protocol, he chose to embrace a more glamorous lifestyle, earning him the moniker of the Playboy Prince. His carefree attitude and pursuit of pleasure made him an icon of the era, and his younger cousin, Prince Charles, looked up to him as a role model. However, William's life took a dramatic turn in 1968 when he encountered Zsuzsi Starkloff, a captivating Hungarian divorcee model and former air hostess. Their connection was immediate and intense, igniting a passionate romance that defied the norms of Buckingham Palace. Despite their deep love, their relationship was met with disapproval within royal circles. For some members of the royal family, William's infatuation with Zsuzsi Starkloff evoked fears reminiscent of the scandalous affair between King Edward VIII and Wallis Simpson, which led to the abdication crisis. They dreaded the prospect of history repeating itself, envisioning the potential chaos and upheaval that could accompany a marriage deemed unsuitable by traditional standards. In the bustling metropolis of Tokyo, amidst the vibrant energy of the mid-1960s, Zsuzsi Starkloff found herself navigating the complexities of life as a single mother and a woman forging her path in a foreign land. Separated from her second husband, an American airline pilot, Zsuzsi embarked on a journey of independence and self-discovery. As she ventured into the world of modeling to support herself and her teenage daughter, Zsuzsi's striking beauty and magnetic presence quickly made her a sought-after figure in the Japanese capital. Her days were a whirlwind of photo shoots, runway shows, and glamorous social gatherings where she mingled with an eclectic mix of personalities from all walks of life. Among the luminaries she encountered was the suave and debonair Sean Connery, who was filming a movie in Tokyo at the time. Their encounters over dinner were a testament to the allure of Zsussi's charm and charisma, drawing admiration from even the most iconic figures of the era. Yet, amid the glitz of her newfound career, Zsuzsi faced subtle reminders of the prevailing attitudes towards women in Japanese society. Despite the skepticism of those who questioned her decision to remain in Japan, Zsuzsi remained resolute in her determination to carve out a life on her own terms. In the midst of this bustling backdrop, fate intervened in the form of a chance encounter that would forever alter the course of Zsussi's life. Across the crowded streets of Tokyo, she crossed paths with Prince William, a senior member of the British royal family, who was captivated by her radiant presence and independent spirit. Their connection was instantaneous, transcending the boundaries of class and convention. In Zsuzsi, Prince William found a kindred spirit, a woman unbound by societal expectations, unafraid to chart her own destiny. Their romance blossomed amidst the backdrop of Tokyo's neon-lit streets, a clandestine affair fueled by passion and intrigue. William Windsor was not just any royal scion. He was the embodiment of regal charm and charisma. As the son of the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester and the nephew of King George VI, young William occupied a prominent place within the illustrious lineage of the British monarchy. By his first birthday, he found himself fourth in line to the throne, a position that bestowed upon him both privilege and expectation. Despite his esteemed lineage, William was unlike any other royal prince of his time. Described as the forgotten star of the royal family, he possessed a magnetic allure that set him apart from his peers. Blessed with intelligence, resilience, and a daring spirit, William embodied the epitome of youthful vigor and promise. His mother, Lady Alice Montague Douglas Scott, was a figure of unwavering devotion, having endured the trials of miscarriage before finally welcoming William into the world at the age of 40. He was the cherished culmination of their hopes and dreams. Sent to Eton in 1958, William's arrival at the prestigious institution heralded the emergence of a self-assured and independent young man. His history tutor, Giles St. Aubin, was struck by William's remarkable presence and determination to forge his own path, free from the constraints of royal obligation. Despite his royal status, William remained fiercely independent, resisting attempts to mold him into the typical image of a royal prince. He eschewed the trappings of privilege, instead embracing a life of adventure and exploration. His disdain for the superficiality of courtship and the attentions of younger women set him apart from his peers, earning him a reputation for discernment and maturity beyond his years. In his pursuit of genuine connection, William gravitated towards women of substance and experience, finding solace and companionship in their wisdom and maturity. His aversion to superficiality and his desire for authentic relationships reflected his innate understanding of the complexities of human nature, a trait that endeared him to those who knew him best. William Windsor, despite his royal upbringing, was a man of unconventional desires and aspirations. His academic pursuits led him to Cambridge, where he excelled in his studies, but his ambitions lay beyond the traditional paths laid out for him. Graduating from Cambridge marked a turning point for William, as he made the bold decision to diverge from the well-trodden royal career in the military. Instead, he charted his own course, setting his sights on a civilian role within the diplomatic service. A choice that raised eyebrows and sparked curiosity among those accustomed to the rigid expectations of royal life. In a rare television interview, William candidly shared his motivations for choosing a career in the Foreign Office, reflecting on his desire to forge his own path and pursue his passions outside the confines of royal protocol. His words resonated with a sense of independence and determination, underscoring his commitment to charting his own destiny. Despite the weight of familial expectations and the allure of tradition, William remained steadfast in his pursuit of a life less ordinary. His great passion for aviation was a testament to his adventurous spirit, and he became the youngest royal to obtain a pilot's license, a feat that exemplified his commitment to pushing boundaries and embracing the modernity of the era. In many ways, William's life mirrored that of his uncle, King Edward VIII, whose own penchant for risk and adventure captivated the public imagination. Like his uncle, William was drawn to the thrill of danger, finding solace and liberation in the freedom of flight and the exhilaration of speed. Yet, amidst the glitz and glamour of the 1960s, William remained grounded in his humanity, seeking refuge from the relentless scrutiny of the press in the serenity of the skies. His love for flying and fast cars spoke to his insatiable appetite for excitement and his desire to escape the suffocating pressures of royal life. In the cockpit of an airplane, William found a sanctuary where the burdens of royalty faded away, allowing him to revel in the exhilaration of the moment and experience true freedom. His affinity for remote destinations reflected his yearning for solitude and simplicity, away from the prying eyes of the public and the demands of duty. In September 1968, William embarked on a journey that would not only redefine his career, but also alter the course of his personal life. Taking up a position with the British Embassy in Japan, he eschewed the comforts of royal privilege, opting instead to undertake a grueling 16-day journey, flying himself through storms to reach his destination on time. This display of resilience and determination not only demonstrated William's commitment to his new role, but also captured the imagination of the public, earning him instant acclaim and adoration upon his arrival. Waiting to welcome him on the ground was his colleague Shigeru Katana, who was astounded by the spectacle of a royal prince navigating the skies with the skill and fortitude of a seasoned pilot. News of William's unconventional journey spread like wildfire, transforming him into a celebrity overnight and igniting a frenzy of excitement among admirers, particularly the young women who clamored for his attention. Amidst the bustling streets of Tokyo, William found himself immersed in a culture that offered him a rare sense of liberation, a chance to shed the trappings of royalty and embrace the spontaneity of life as an ordinary citizen. The vibrant energy of the city, coupled with the warmth and hospitality of its people, provided William with a welcome reprieve from the rigors of royal duty, allowing him to revel in the freedom of anonymity and exploration. It was amidst this backdrop of newfound freedom and excitement that William crossed paths with Zsuzsi Starkloff, a radiant and vivacious presence within Tokyo's expatriate community. Drawn together by fate and fueled by a shared sense of adventure, their encounter at a masquerade ball sparked a connection that would defy the boundaries of convention and tradition. Zsuzsi's cleverly crafted invitation, adorned with playful charm and intrigue, captured William's imagination and set the stage for a memorable evening of enchantment and romance. Dressed as the Lone Ranger, William cut a dashing figure as he swept Zsuzsi off her feet, embodying the allure of a classic Hollywood leading man. Their dance marked the beginning of a relationship that transcended the confines of social status and expectation, blossoming amidst the enchanting backdrop of Tokyo's glittering nightlife. With each step on the dance floor, William and Zsuzsi forged a bond that would withstand the tests of time and adversity, proving that love knows no boundaries and defies all odds. For Zsuzsi, the prospect of romance with a royal prince was far from her mind when she first met William. She had sought only companionship and friendship, never expecting to find herself swept off her feet by a man of such stature and charm. Yet, as their relationship blossomed, she found herself falling deeper and deeper under his spell, enchanted by his kindness, his warmth, and his unwavering devotion. In William, Zsuzsi found a kindred spirit, a man who saw beyond the trappings of royalty to the essence of her true self. Together, they embarked on a journey of discovery and passion, reveling in the joy of each other's company and the boundless possibilities that lay ahead. Their love was not without its challenges. As a divorced woman, Zsuzsi faced scrutiny and judgment from society, while William grappled with the expectations of his royal heritage. Yet, in each other's arms, they found solace and strength, united in their determination to defy the odds and forge their own path to happiness. Away from the constraints of royal protocol, William and Zsuzsi reveled in the freedom of their love, cherishing each moment they spent together with an intensity born of newfound passion. In William, Zsuzsi found a partner who cherished her for who she was, a woman of depth, intelligence, and grace. In Zsuzsi, William found a love that transcended the boundaries of class and convention, a love that filled his heart with a joy he had never known before. Nestled along the serene shores of the Pacific Ocean, Prince William and Zsuzsi Starkloff found sanctuary in a small house that served as their private love nest, a haven where they could escape the prying eyes of the world and revel in the intimacy of their bond. Here, amidst the gentle lull of the waves and the whisper of the ocean breeze, they cultivated a cocoon of love and warmth, shielded from the harsh glare of public scrutiny. In this idyllic retreat, Prince William embraced the simple pleasures of domesticity, taking delight in cooking breakfast for his beloved each morning, a gesture of love and devotion that spoke volumes about the depth of his affection. Zsuzsi, in turn, reciprocated his tenderness, sharing in the household chores with a sense of joy and camaraderie that belied their difference in status. Their relationship was built on a foundation of mutual respect and equality, devoid of the formalities and pretensions that often accompanied royal romance. Zuzi's easygoing nature and down-to-earth demeanor put William at ease, allowing him to shed the weight of his royal title and simply be himself, a man in love, unencumbered by the expectations of his station. For Zuzi, William was not just a prince, but a kindred spirit, a man who saw beyond the trappings of royalty to the essence of her true self. Together, they reveled in each other's company, exploring the depths of their connection with an openness and honesty that defied convention. But their idyllic existence was soon shattered by the harsh realities of royal duty and familial obligation. News of their affair reached England, setting off alarm bells within the royal family and prompting a swift intervention from Prince William's cousin, Princess Margaret. Arriving in Tokyo under the guise of attending a business conference, Princess Margaret wasted no time in confronting William about his relationship with Zuzi. Their conversation was fraught with tension, as Margaret grappled with the painful memories of her own forbidden love affair with Group Captain Peter Townsend, a relationship that had ultimately been thwarted by the demands of duty and tradition. Despite her personal sympathies, Princess Margaret urged William to reconsider his involvement with Zuzi, warning him of the potential repercussions for both himself and the monarchy. It was a difficult conversation, tinged with regret and resignation, as Margaret implored her cousin to prioritize his duty to the crown above matters of the heart. For Zsuzsi Starkloff, her relationship with William was never about his title or the allure of becoming a princess. It was about the genuine bond they shared, built on mutual respect and love. She recalled moments of vulnerability, such as when she noticed William looking stressed and unhappy while writing letters. "I remember him writing letters and asking me to take pictures of him. I was sitting reading a book, and I looked up and said, 'William, you look so stressed and you look unhappy.' And he said, 'Take a picture of it.'" By 1970, William had made the monumental decision to leave his bachelor life behind and marry Zuzi. However, their relationship faced an unforeseen test when his father, the Duke of Gloucester, suffered a stroke. This tragedy necessitated William's return to England, thrusting him back into the orbit of the royal family and its rigid expectations. The powers that be sought to rein him in, pulling him back under their influence and away from the life of freedom he had carved out for himself in Japan. William found himself at a crossroads, torn between his duty to his family and his desire for independence. He wanted his freedom, his career, and most importantly, he wanted Zuzi. In a bold move, Zsuzsi Starkloff traveled alone to England in July 1970, determined to reunite with Prince William at his family's country estate. However, Zsuzsi Starkloff faced the daunting prospect of integrating herself into the British royal family, a world defined by tradition, protocol, and scrutiny. Reflecting on her visit to England, she found it both fascinating and challenging. "My visit to England was really quite very interesting. I remember I had this book that William gave me about politics and life in England. He wanted me to know a little bit more than I did, which was not much to begin with." Their first photographs together were taken at Barnwell Manor, William's country home. The manor was a picturesque setting, filled with history and charm. It was a beautiful place, and we took photographs everywhere. Zuzi vividly recalls meeting William's father, the Duke of Gloucester, who was in failing health. "This is William's father. He was already ailing, I believe. He's with his nurse there." With the Duke's declining health, the question of William's future became increasingly urgent. Bringing Zsuzsi to England was a significant gamble for William, a test to see if she could fit into his life and the expectations that came with his royal lineage. However, the odds were stacked against them from the start. The royal family saw Zuzi as deeply unsuitable. She was older than William, a foreigner, twice divorced, with a child, and of a different religion. These factors made her an unlikely candidate for a future princess. William found himself in a heartbreaking dilemma, torn between his love for Zuzi and his loyalty to his parents, who adored him as their firstborn son. The pressure was immense, yet Zuzi never pushed him for marriage. "I never pressured him. I was twice divorced, so it isn't like I was a wallflower. I didn't have to have a husband. I loved my life with William. So it wasn't about climbing the ladder. It wasn't about having a title. It was all about falling in love." Their relationship was genuine and profound, built on mutual respect and affection rather than ambition. And whatever some people outside our circle, our friendship, thought, none of that mattered. We were just two people happy to be together. Despite the external pressures and societal expectations, their bond remained unshaken. They cherished their moments together, finding solace and joy in each other's company. The royal family had ample reason to be concerned about William's relationship with Zsuzsi Starkloff. The affair evoked painful memories of his uncle Edward VIII's dramatic abdication 35 years earlier. Edward had chosen love over duty, abdicating the throne to marry American divorcee Wallis Simpson. This historic decision sent shockwaves through the monarchy and the nation, casting a long shadow over any similar situations within the royal family. William was acutely aware of his uncle's legacy. Unlike Edward, who abandoned his royal responsibilities for love, William aimed to honor both his duty and his heart. Always there was the example of his uncle Edward. And the difference between Edward and William was that he believed in his duty, noted a close friend. William wanted to be a good, proper, upright member of the British royal family, but he also wanted the woman that he loved, and he was in an impossible position. This internal conflict placed William in a unique and challenging spot. While he wasn't the king, his involvement with Zuzi, a twice-divorced woman, mirrored Edward's controversial relationship with Wallis Simpson. The specter of abdication and its repercussions loomed large, reminding everyone that within the royal family, personal happiness often came at the expense of duty. The example of his uncle shows that you can have the woman or you can have the throne, but you can't have both, commented another observer. William wasn't king, but he was involved with a twice-divorced woman, in the same way that his uncle David, King Edward VIII, was involved with a twice-divorced woman, and the outcome of that was abdication, which really shook the country to its foundations. Zuzi was acutely aware of these comparisons and the weight they carried. It was a very heavy handicap, I think, at that time. And, of course, to double the irony, it's been said that they were comparing me to Mrs. Simpson. Despite the negative gossip and societal judgment, Zuzi remained resilient. If I would have listened to everything negative people were saying, I would have been an unhappy woman. And I wasn't. I was a very happy woman. The tabloid press quickly capitalized on the rumors of the sensational royal affair. One audacious young gossip columnist managed to scoop a story with a simple yet bold phone call. "It didn't seem wrong to me to dial Barnwell Manor, ask for Prince William, and find myself talking to him," the columnist recalled. "I told him who I was, of course, and why I was calling, and the result was that he said he wasn't sure whether there was a future in the marriage. Yes, his parents were uneasy about it, but he mentioned his Uncle Edward. Even having given up the throne, Edward couldn't escape the fact that he was royal. That was a very significant point." William's acknowledgement of his royal heritage highlighted the inescapable nature of his position. Despite his yearning for personal freedom and happiness, he remained bound by the expectations and responsibilities of his birthright. It was the same for William, the columnist noted, and he talked about it with remarkable freedom. "In fact, I got the impression he was relieved to get a call from someone so then he could talk about it." As Prince William agonized over his future, he sought the counsel of his cousin, Queen Elizabeth II. His decision to write to her was driven by a desire to gauge the reaction of the royal family if he chose to marry Zsuzsi Starkloff. According to Zuzi, William said the Queen was gracious in her response and encouraged him to follow his heart. However, the clarity he sought from this guidance was overshadowed by the pressure from other senior royals. The sternest opposition came from Prince Philip, who vehemently opposed the marriage. Zuzi recalled, "Prince Philip was pretty much up in arms against us marrying. He gave us an example, his uncle who abdicated as a scary example." The abdication of Edward VIII for Wallis Simpson had left deep scars within the royal family, and Prince Philip used this as a cautionary tale to dissuade William from pursuing his relationship with Zuzi. Zuzi could see the pain and conflict this caused William. "I think he was struggling with that in spite of his own feelings. That was the rock and the hard place, because I believed that he wanted to stay together with me. I trusted that that's what he really wanted, and I know he felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders." The late 60s and early 70s were turbulent times for the British monarchy. Despite outward appearances of stability, there was an underlying insecurity within the royal family. They were concerned about their future and wary of their immediate past. Any potential scandal or controversy, like a high-profile relationship with a twice-divorced foreigner, was seen as a threat to the monarchy's already fragile image. Prince Philip, who you would think might look sympathetically upon a relationship of that kind, absolutely sternly turned his face against it, Zsuzsi noted. And the reason why was that in the late 60s and early 70s, the royal family did not feel secure. It may have looked secure, but it did not feel secure. William, who held Prince Philip in high regard, would have been deeply affected by his disapproval. He was very fond of Prince Philip, so he would have minded very much what he thought, Zuzi said. William knew the full weight of royal expectations, and this internal struggle took a toll on him. In August 1970, William made the difficult decision to put his relationship with Zsuzsi on hold. This led to an emotional farewell, a moment that remains etched in Zsuzsi's memory. "The last time I actually saw William in person was at the airport when he delivered me and deposited me in a British Airways seat. That's the last time I saw him, and we just said we'll be in touch. I remember wearing very big sunglasses to cover the fact that I was sad." Despite the heartache, Zuzi maintained hope. "In my heart of hearts, I had the faith that at some point we'll be back together. Even if he decides for the moment that this is not it, he will miss me. We just had too much together, so although I was very sad to not be with him now, deep down then, I thought be patient." While Zsuzsi Starkloff flew back to New York, Prince William remained in England. Despite the physical distance, they kept in touch through phone calls and letters, nurturing the hope that their love story would eventually have a happy ending. However, neither could have foreseen the cruel twist of fate that lay ahead. By 1972, it appeared that Prince William's dream of marrying Zsuzsi Starkloff was fading. The weight of royal expectations and the pressure to conform to traditional roles had taken their toll. Resigned to managing the family estate, William seemed to be settling into a life that, while honorable, lacked the passion he shared with Zuzi. Yet the late summer brought an unexpected opportunity that reignited their hopes. William's enduring love for aviation led to a pivotal phone call. "I spoke with William, and he said, 'Oh, there's going to be an air race,' and he asked in his usual manner, 'Would you like to join me and fly with me in that air race?'" Zuzi recalled. Unfortunately, she had other obligations in New York and couldn't join him. "I told him that I'm not able to free myself for that," she explained. William, understanding but disappointed, decided to participate with his flight instructor instead. On the August bank holiday, Prince William traveled to Wolverhampton to compete in the air show. Among the crowd of 50,000 spectators was local photographer Ray Bradbury, who captured images of the day. This photograph shows him arriving, and in his pocket, he was obviously coming to enjoy the day, Bradbury recounted. "He looked like a movie star wearing his dark glasses, and he never took the glasses off at all the time I was in his company." One particular shot stood out to Bradbury. "Here's a shot I did of the red arrows flying over Prince William while he's polishing his aircraft. I thought this would be the picture of the day. It just couldn't be beaten. It was just a lovely picture. It summed it all up, and it ended up not being the picture of the day." The photo, intended to capture the excitement and promise of the event, soon took on a tragic significance. The race, which was meant to be a highlight of William's love for flying and a brief escape from royal duties, became the setting for a heartbreaking turn. On that fateful day, Prince William's aircraft experienced mechanical failure shortly after takeoff, leading to a catastrophic crash that claimed his life. The news of his untimely death sent shockwaves through the royal family and beyond. For Zsuzsi, the loss was devastating. She had not only lost the man she loved, but also the future they had dreamed of together. The calls and letters that once sustained their relationship were now painful reminders of what could have been. What do you think about the tragic life of Prince William of Gloucester? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.